One of the biggest controversies to come out of YouTube in the past week is ImAlexx. Now, ImAlexx was one of the biggest YouTubers in the commentary space who would talk about controversial figures and kind of pull their skeletons out of the closet. And I have to say, I loved Alex's content. I really enjoyed the videos that he made. I loved his second channel where he would talk about Alphaba. It was amazing. Until I recently learned, and I was incredibly saddened to learn, that he is not exactly squeaky clean himself. Now, ImAlexx has been called out by his ex-girlfriend, allegedly. By the way, Alex hasn't actually responded yet, so at the time of recording, this is all allegations, but the proof is quite undeniable. That he was quite an abusive partner, and he said some utterly horrific things that he would often call people out for. Now, this is why I really enjoyed Alex's content, because he was not afraid to say what he thought and put people in boxes should he feel like he needed to. And he was very open to calling people out and, you know, being, if they were controversial in any way, he would expose them. But it would seem that he was not exactly squeaky clean himself, like I've said. So if we go over to ImAlexx's channel, he has taken a bit of a nosedive recently. He had over 2.1 million subscribers last week. He is now down to 1.96 million subscribers. So he has lost a good few 100,000 subs because of this entire issue. And now Colleen Ballinger, obviously he was very, you know, controversial talking about that topic, but also if we just take a little look, you know, exposing girl deny dreadful scam, UK's scariest debt collectors, watching creepy TikToks, Jojo Siwa. But then if you go on to one of his videos and you scroll down to the comment section and you go to new, it is a mess with people calling him out all over the place about some horrific misconduct regarding what he has done. Now, Kavos is a brilliant YouTuber who also does the same thing, but he seems to be quite squeaky clean. And we're going to be taking a look at his video today because, you know, I'm not going to go over it myself because he's got all the information. He's got exclusive information because Alice was the first person to come forward and kind of really blow the lid off of this whole Alex situation. But the situation just got so much worse as another ex-partner called Jess has also come forward to state that she experienced very similar things when it came to Alex. And we're going to take a look at that video now because it is really disappointing to see. Now, Kavos is the only person that I've actually seen cover this topic as well. So he posted a video 11 hours ago saying, ImAlexx allegations just got so much worse. Here we go.
Things are about to get a lot worse for ImAlexx. If you don't know my last video, and something that's been going very viral is ImAlexx. He was exposed by one of his ex-girlfriends as being abusive. The screenshots, the clips, everything were abhorrent, disgusting, disgraceful. He deserves everything coming his way.
Now, Kavos, I will say, is quite unapologetic when he talks about these topics, rightfully so at times. But obviously, go over to Kavos's channel. He did a really good, extensive look at the first time where Alice was calling out ImAlexx for and kind of showing the screenshots. And I believe the Google Drive is like maxed out now, so it can't actually be accessed by the public. But it's all kind of recorded on there.
Alex is yet to respond or acknowledge any of this. Now, this could be for legal reasons. This could be because he's a little pussy. But that is not all. Another girl, a second girl, has come out and accused ImAlexx of the exact same behavior with receipts. And what's really interesting about this is her first post about all of this was in 2020.
Now, that's quite telling in and of itself. Obviously, you know, if this was to come out recently, there could be an argument made potentially, as horrific as it would be, that she was jumping on the bandwagon, the hate wagon, all the rest of it. But because the initial tweet came out in 2020, 4 years prior to these allegations coming out, it shows that these are legitimate issues that she had with Alex.
But you just can't wrap your head around this. It insane. What's even more insane is that YouTube deemed my last video to be age restricted. I understand there's some language there. However, the context is me exposing another YouTuber as being an abusive scumbag. To demonetize, fine. I don't care. I'm fine with that. But to age restrict and stop that getting out, to stop people knowing about Alex even more, is a complete disgrace. So the girl's name in question is Jess. Now, she first posted in 2020 saying, "Now the year is coming to an end, I want to get something off my mind and have at least a little bit of closure." Now, she didn't mention any specific names, and this was just something she did. No one, I don't think anyone really put it with Alex. I wasn't around. I didn't hear about these allegations until now, so...
I didn't either, but from what I can tell, if these allegations were put with Alex, this kind of cancellation of Alex would have come a hell of a lot sooner.
Specific names won't be mentioned, but most can assume anyway. Whoever is currently in a relationship where your partner is heavily one-sided, guilt trips you, or puts you down, please get out. I know it's hard to think of wanting to leave, but I can assure you it's for the best. The start of my last relationship was everything I had wanted at the time. I was already living my best life, so things were only improving. The guy was super lovely and sweet to me, always cared, and went the extra mile, but something changed not long into the relationship.
This is a stark contrast to what Alice put out as well, saying very, very similar things. Obviously, if you haven't heard about the whole Alice situation, I highly recommend you go and watch a video. I haven't done one on it, but go and watch a video about that from, I'd recommend Kavos, because he did a really good one. And then come back and watch this.
These are things we've already heard about Alex, that, you know, starting off it was great, lovely, and then it just completely switches. It was like he was keeping things away from me, which is obvious you tell your partner. I mean, I would have in that situation. There came a time his ex came back into the picture, and like anyone, I felt a horrible gut feeling. When they met up, she ended up going to his flat and went out clubbing with him and some mates, all of which I had to find out through social media. Nothing from him. I've already made it apparent. It made me uncomfortable, them two being together. But his response when I wasn't happy was, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. I have to be friends with her for work. Anything I'd say was met with an excuse. No, sorry, I'll tell you next time or anything. So I just had to push how I felt aside and watch them on calls every night and talk all the time.
Now that obviously is a bit of a red flag. You know, obviously if it's work related, you could kind of understand. But at the same time, when it gets to that level of, you know, you are constantly on the phone to your ex-partner, you got to question whether it truly is work related.
So she's saying it up here, and yeah, obviously in a relationship, you don't want your partner contacting the ex, especially all the time and watching that. Yeah. Shortly afterwards, he broke up with me as he was planning on moving elsewhere, and he said the last 6 months were the worst of his life, and how nothing good has happened. I was devastated and spent countless nights crying myself to sleep because at the time I genuinely loved this guy, and I'd do anything for him, and it hurt a lot that I couldn't make him happy. I made one tweet during the breakup that I saw a good-looking guy in the gym, and he flips out at me saying I'm a liar for telling him I'd wait for him and would only like him, and he doesn't ever want to be with me again. I broke down at work crying on the phone to him, trying to apologize and say how genuine I was when I'd said I'd happily wait for him. All I did was make a tweet about someone being attractive. Eventually he agreed to let me come and see him, and we started back up again as he said he was sorry for getting angry because he just missed me. This is very similar to Alice's story, where Alex was really jealous if she followed a certain someone or liked a tweet and just instantly flipped out at her because his little man syndrome knows no bounds and anything can set him off in an instant. He never moved in the end, so I'm glad I had to experience those awful nights wondering why I wasn't good enough anymore for no reason. One night he went out and left his laptop with me. I looked through some messages and he was a lot closer with his ex when he let on. He would tell her his problems, but to me he didn't want to drag me down or get me involved. He'd also messaged a girl complimenting her ass, but me tweeting someone was attractive was the end of the world.
Yeah, talk about pot, kettle and black, you know, like it's very much one-sided, and you know, that's obviously no way to have a relationship.
I never mentioned this to him because I knew it would just cause an argument. I could never win with him. As time went on, anything that bothered me, I'd tell him, and I'd just be met with a load of messages that started with, I'm too busy, I don't have time for this, I'm not happy, I've got other things to worry about. The list goes on.
I mean, this is just red flag central.
He would always get angry at me saying my feelings. Looking at him, he's not a scary person, but behind the scenes, he scared me when he was angry.
I'm not going to lie, if you look at Alice's exposure kind of document on Google Drive, the videos are horrific. So I could only imagine, that was over camera, where it's possibly recorded. I could only imagine how horrific he would be in person if that's what he was like over a camera.
At this point, my feelings pretty much felt invalid, and I knew I couldn't go to him about anything. I still did, though. Whenever he'd upset me, I'd tell him, and was met with the same response. Countless times, he'd reversed the situation and played a victim, to which I'd stopped being upset and felt sympathy for him. I was always there for him with advice and help, but was never there for me. One time he told me he was feeling really down, so I drove 3 hours in the middle of the night to see him. Yet when I told him I was down, I got met with something like, "I'm working." This all corroborates with Alice's story too, playing the victim, not caring, trying to make them not feel valid, and all it matters is about him because he's a little narcissistic freak. For my 22nd, I spent the majority of my birthday alone, watching The Walking Dead as he was in bed all day. But I can't be upset at that because the excuse was being depressed. I picked out flowers as a present from him, and he bought me some Jaffa cakes, which I later got told they were meant for both of us. I'm not one to compare gifts as I love to give, but I took this guy to a 5-star hotel for his 21st, and he couldn't even organise something nice for us to do on mine. So for her birthday, she spent it alone because he was too busy just being depressed. So he couldn't get out for his girlfriend's birthday or spend any time with her, and then gave her Jaffa cakes. Look at hell. How does this guy ever get any girls? There's situations where he's been pure evil, telling me he hates my friends during an argument about how I felt uncomfortable being sat next to a male Uber driver who was touching himself at times and kept staring at me and my friends, was simply saying they wouldn't let me sit in the front, period. He sat in the back just so he could talk to his friends, and I just became invisible. He blamed me for not telling him sooner. However, if he had paid attention to me as a person, he would know I have social anxiety and find confrontation, especially that kind, really difficult to deal with.
This is gaslighting 101, like making her feel like victim blaming as well. It's just, God, this is messed up.
He told me he hates fat people, then went on to jokingly call me fat when he knew I wasn't happy with my weight. I feel lucky that my depression doesn't get in the way of making others happy. No matter how bad I get, I can always make sure others are okay. Now, I know not everyone has that same mindset. He struggled with his own mental health issues. He broke up with me on Valentine's Day this year after I sent him a text saying it doesn't feel like he appreciates me and loves me anymore, and which he blames me for breaking up with him, which I didn't. He gave me excuses on why he couldn't do this anymore. Again, I'm too busy, I'm working, etc. I even booked time off just to spend it with him. Told him the dates and he never bothered to arrange to see each other. Again, too busy for me. But he told me he wasn't going to go out for drinks with a friend. However, that translated to just going to Asda. So he had a go at me saying I don't allow him to just go shopping with his mate. What triggered the message was him saying he was going out for drinks after saying he has no time for me. The fact I had to see his own friends with their girlfriends and seeing them make time for one another hurt like hell. His excuse for that was that they do that because they aren't as passionate about their jobs as he is, so they waste their time.
This is fucked up. Like, this is... What the fuck?
He never came to see me because that took away too many days where he could have been working instead. This made me feel like I didn't deserve him or was even worth his time. Going on from Valentine's Day, I was obviously upset it was over, but I was able to manage it pretty easy at first and try and talk to him, but he'd rarely respond. It wasn't until COVID hit that my own mental health crumbled more and I had to watch people die every day in April. This is when I was really needed him to be around, not that he ever was anyway. It got to a point where I was sat in my car on the verge of suicide when I needed to speak to someone. I called him, and in the end, he turned his phone off and didn't answer because he couldn't be bothered to talk to me for days.
Bro, no! No! Your partner is in desperate need, and that is a cry for help, and you just turn your phone off. I feel so disappointed in myself for watching this guy's content and giving this guy money. Like, not giving him money, but, you know, money through ad revenue. I feel so disappointed.
After I was having a breakdown every day and just wanted to talk to him, I still struggle to understand why he broke up with me, as the only thing he changed his life was getting rid of me. He didn't get rid of anyone else. Apparently getting rid of me was supposed to make his life better, yet his friends were the ones who got under his skin, and they're still around to this day. Eventually he blocked my number. I would see him on social media talking to everyone and anyone. So we've definitely got this clear picture from Jess of Alex being the neglectful boyfriend, someone who doesn't care about her experiences, her feelings, any of that. It's going to get a lot worse, especially some message that was leaked. But let's just keep going. Calling random girls he's never talked about before, and then when I pointed out that he can talk to them but not me, he kicked off saying that's basically me trying to tell him he can't have friends. All I wanted to know was why I wasn't allowed the time of day.
This is gaslighting, man. This is literally gaslighting 101.
But this other new girl was. He'd be more than happy to talk to her about his mental state, but not mine. Anything I would bring up after the breakup, I was yet again met with, I'm depressed, I'm busy, I can do what I want, I don't need this. For someone who would constantly remind me he had depression and use it against me, he never once took my mental state into consideration. I could have gone to a certain person about this situation, but he threatened me, saying if I went to a said person, I'd have no chance of ever being with him again. Well, now I don't want to ever be with you anymore. I don't see why people can't know now. The only leverage he had was gone. Yeah, Alex loves threatening people like that. Imagine being like, well, you'll never be with me if you say anything, even though he has no intention of ever being with her again. Complete manipulation. This guy made me feel completely worthless, self-conscious, and gave me such a lack of trust in people that it's taken me back how much my current partner is understanding and willing to help me overcome my depression. He's literally having to deal with the damage my ex caused. There's so much to it that I could go on for a page after page, but these are the main points that stick out for me right now. No doubt if he catches wind of this, I'll get accused of lying, or he'll just shout at me like he used to. I told him he was mentally abusive and he said, don't go throwing that around. I like to have full closure on our relationship, but I know he'll never admit how selfish and cruel he was, so this is all I can do. I have a lot of friends who have seen texts and heard voice notes from him, and don't worry, they don't like you either and will back this. I mean, after Alice's story as well, and what we've seen Alex is capable of, and the things he has done, this all lines up.
Absolutely. It stark contrast. Literally, as it played out for Alice is exactly how it's played out for Jess.
Jess doesn't have the receipts that we would want like Alice does as much. She does have a few texts and a voice note that I have. But this behavior, and remember, this is from 2020, describing all of this 4 years ago, completely matches and corroborates Alice's story, which we have shit tons of proof and receipts with. And again, she didn't name him. It was anonymous. It was venting. Wasn't really trying to take Alex down specifically, but yeah. It completely aligns. That's all from 2020. Made a new post after Alice came out saying, this is my experience with Alex. Quote tweeting what she said in 2020.
See, this is just, it's crazy because obviously you like think about this whole situation, right? Like you could again say that if she jumps on this after Alice drops her bombshell, you know, you're looking for a bit of like to try to stick the knife in a bit more, you know, maybe you're a disgruntled ex, but no, this happened in 2020 on Boxing Day. We can see this post was Boxing Day 2020, right? And she's reposted it after Alice posts her experience. So this is clearly not a disgruntled ex. This is someone who's truly been through the ringer with this person and has already spoken about this.
We also get some receipts and proof of Alex just being a complete piece of shit. From November 2018 to February 2020, I was in an off and on again relationship with Alex, as everyone else seems to experience the first few months up to a year, whereas you'd expect with a brand new relationship. I can't speak as much now, as 4 years later, I've suppressed these memories and don't tend to think back on that time. I had made a statement in 2020 for my own personal closure. I didn't expect it to go anywhere, but just exist. I really wanted to reach out to someone, but I knew I didn't have the evidence because I deleted our messages to try and get over the breakup. I've included my original statement alongside a Facebook message between Alex and my friend during an insomnia event where he thought I wasn't in our hotel room. He left to go see Slazzo before the accusations. And I'd woken up to bang at the door to said friend showing me these messages and saying Alex was looking for me. I was in the bed next to him, he just hadn't bothered to look. When confronted, he laughed about it and I told him never to say that about me again. While I'm thankful I'm now in a position where my current partner has helped me heal through the damage Alex caused, my heart breaks for Alice having gone through so much worse and still dealing with the consequences. She deserves nothing but peace and happiness here on out. Nothing she has done will justify his actions towards her. Showing a message, Alex going, yo, where's Jess? I'm very angry at the bar. I'm going to kick her head in. Now I'm locked out. Might kill her. Might actually kill her. What?
This is so messed up, and if you have seen the, you know, the things that Alice posted about him, this is nothing new. He is very threatening about his actions towards these people, and, you know, it is so messed up. No wonder these people lived in fear of this guy.
What is it with this guy loving, threatening women? Is it because he could never pick on a man because he's a little weasel and wouldn't dare say that to anyone's face? Saying he's going to kick her head in, that he might actually kill her? And after what we've seen him say to Alice about wanting to actually bash her head in,
I'm going to fucking bash your head against the wall with a brick if you don't shut the fuck up.
Literally, that came from his mouth. You cannot say anything else. Like, the proof is in the pudding. I don't know how Alex can possibly come back from this. His career is surely over.
this guy is just the biggest piece of shit. And we have now 2 detailed accounts of ex-girlfriends. And why this Jess one is so interesting is because it was 4 years ago she wrote this. No one, from what I saw, picked this up and matched it with Alex. But now, after Alice's accusations, we can clearly see how these match and corroborate completely. Now, Jess did message me and gave me some proof of Alex from a voice note. So I'm going to play that for you guys now. Jess said to me that he sent me this voice note long after my friend had tweeted him asking to send me back some shoes I left at his.
Why am I not allowed to have friends who could tweet about me? They're not trying to fuck with my life. Your friends are trying to fuck with my life. You're trying to fuck with my life. And because my friends are going to tweet out like pictures of me or whatever, or fucking conversations, apparently, how is it my fucking fault? I don't know. You're driving me fucking mental. You're driving me to the point of fucking, so I'm going to fucking kill myself at this rate, because I can't keep living like this. I can't keep living under the fear that I'm not allowed to live my life anymore because I'm a public fucking figure. I'm fucking public, Jess. I'm a public fucking figure, and I just wanted something private. And why are you trying to hold that over my fucking head? What have I fucking done? I broke up with you, and I have your shoes. I'm going to fucking send those shoes back. I'm not trying to fuck your life. I'm not trying to fuck your fucking life.
So here we can hear the weasel really squirming.
It comes across to me that he's more fearful to lose his online presence, which of course is exactly what is actually happening, than anything else. He doesn't particularly care for anyone else. He just cares about his little bubble getting burst. And, you know, ironically, that's exactly what this has done. In him trying so desperately to not let that bubble burst, he's actually inflated it to the point where he popped it himself. And it's Karma's a bitch, and he should have known better.
He mentions the shoes, which Jess is talking about to me, about why they sent these voice notes. It also sounds like that Jess has mentioned that she was going to tweet about the accusations or the things she's been through. I'm completely speculating because he keeps banging on that he's a public figure, he wanted something private, and that she's going to F with his life. And that was the exact same thing he said to Alice before she came out with her accusations, which is why I think it's important, because she revealed that Alex was trying to manipulate her, saying, oh, I thought it was private, our relationship, surely it's private, you shouldn't come out with all these things because it's private. When, yeah, you're a public figure who criticizes people, talks about these very kind of things, and now you're saying, no, it's private, you can't say that. The little weasel, his voice, man, it's like dragging nails down a chalkboard. Alex is just completely finished. Like I said, he hasn't responded. If he does, we will cover it. So make sure to subscribe to keep up with this, and I hope he's been investigated. I hope he gets what's coming to him. Thanks for watching. Until next time, fuck off.
Right, that obviously was a brilliant video from Kavos once again. I highly recommend you go over to his channel and subscribe if you have not already. But yeah, like I say, for the time being, these are just allegations, although very strong allegations because the evidence that has been brought forward, it's pretty irrefutable. But Alex is yet to respond. I don't know if he can, and if he can, I don't know how he could possibly claw his way back from this, unless he just pretends like it never happened and just took plenty of time away. But the internet never forgets these things, and he can never criticize someone online again after these allegations have been brought forward unless they are disproved. But like I say, there is literal video proof of this. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. While you're down there, please sure to jump scare the hell out of that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Tick on my little bell so you get notified whenever we upload to the channel. And until next time, guys, I hope you have enjoyed, and I'll speak to you later. Peace.